Greetings, anybody. Welcome back. Busting out a Bulova Super Seville today. A watch I didn't really ever think I would get, but am excited about it. Full disclosure, I did open it and remove the plastic slip that was on it because I knew I would have trouble with my gloves. But this is the limited edition with the mineral dial. Oh yeah, that's the Snowflake Obsidian mineral dial. That's what we got going on in there. This is a quartz watch, and a watch that I never really thought I would find myself buying, but wow, I really like that dial. Obviously, I'm a gem and mineral guy, and wow, that's a cool ass watch. There's a number of reasons that this watch is a no for me, but I fell in love with the dial, as I often do, and I'm a new watch collector, and this is just one that I really liked. Starting off with the things I didn't like about it, I mean, it's this gold, rose gold, stainless, kind of fake gold. That was something I never said I would have. It has a date window. It's quartz. I never thought I would buy a quartz watch for whatever reason, but I always love tool watches and watches that are tough, and this is a sleek, more kind of a dress style watch. That Snowflake Obsidian is a really beautiful gem or mineral, whichever one it is. It's a volcanic glass, actually, with inclusions. And those inclusions create that snowflake pattern when they polish it up. And I just thought the dial looked amazing. But beyond that, a watch that, I couldn't wear this thing to work. I would tear it up. It's a tribute to New York, so they made 708 of each model. It's technically a limited edition. Website only, bulova.com, and I believe it was $1,225. It looks like, to get it taken, I'll remove that little piece. Probably have to take my glove off for that. But the stats on the watch, it's 37.5 millimeter dial. It has 11-inch lugs, and that's because of this strange kind of unique bracelet. It's just that little piece in there. But it's an integrated bracelet, so not really made to be switched out, I wouldn't think. It has AR coating on the sapphire crystal. I forget the thickness on it, but it's pretty sleek, pretty thin. And Bulova, when you buy them on their website, at least with this model, it had the option to have it sized. So I had it sized at 7 1/4, which was about what I think my wrist is. And then, I think the reference model on this one, I wrote it down, 97B231. And yeah, that's pretty much the stats. It has... The big selling point for me was the Precisionist movement. You can see that little infinity sign down there, and it beats at 262 kilohertz. I was a big fan of Seiko, Grand Seiko, and this has a sweeping second hand that supposedly, and from what I've seen in other videos, it really rivals that. It has an accuracy within 5 or 10 seconds. Some say a month, some say seconds, a year, and the battery should last about 3 years. I believe it's a 9-joule movement. Don't quote me on that. I'm just going by memory, but I think that is just a really cool looking watch. The pros that I really loved about it are just the style. I love that kind of television style, throwback to the 70s. This is actually a throwback of one of their original Seville models from that era. And really interesting, in the 80s and 90s, what I remember from Bulova is seeing them on QVC selling all kinds of shitty looking fake watches for very cheap, and they looked cheap. And, I didn't think they were cool at all, but they have an amazing heritage. They're owned now, believed by a Japanese, the Citizen Group, but they have an amazing American heritage, 150 years. Um, they had an incredible story with the Moonwatch, which is how I got turned on to doing a dive on Bulova, and that's when I found out. We all have heard the story of the Omega Moonwatch and how awesome that was, and this carefully curated story. I was interested to learn that I believe it was Buzz Aldrin. I don't remember for sure, but one of the astronauts that had his Speedmaster on the Moonwatch failed on his second moonwalk. It was the crystal popped out, and he had a personal prototype from Bulova that he had brought on, stowed it on, and he used that for his third moonwalk. It performed flawlessly, and I don't even believe the company was aware that he had brought it along. NASA definitely was not, but he threw it in his drawer, and decades later sold it at auction for 1.2 million. Supposedly, it still had moon dust on it, but yeah, I was interested to. At first, I didn't believe it. I was thinking that I was getting misinformed about a moonwatch failing. But anyway, that was a new story to me, and yeah, I'm sure there's places you can go to find the real facts. I'm just kind of spitballing here and sharing a watch that I never thought I would buy, and I really, really like it. Let's see what it looks like on. Um, I will say I love the fluted bezel, but that says Rolex to me, and the Cyclops, I never would have thought I would have got a watch with a date window and a Cyclops, because that just looks like, screams out Rolex to me. And, I'm not a watch aficionado, I'm new to the hobby, but it sold me. I mean, the heritage, the American heritage, and the build quality and price, it's not cheap by any means, 1,225 bucks, but to have a limited edition with every one of these dials is going to be unique. There's never going to be one that looks like another one. And I'm excited to see what the movement looks like. The lighting doesn't seem to be too great in here, but I'm going to take my glove off and put the watch on. I'm going to pull off that little plastic thing and hopefully it'll fire up. There we go. She's working. Oh yeah, that's like butter. Wow, what a watch. Anyway, they have a couple other models with a stone face. One is Tiger's Eye. That one looks amazing. Then they have a stainless steel colored one that is a turquoise. And I don't recommend that one because it is what they call reconstituted turquoise, basically man made. It's crushed up turquoise dust and then dyed to put some veins in it. They do look okay, but if you're a gem person, the turquoise is obviously reconstituted at first glance, but this Snowflake Obsidian dial, you're not going to see many like that. Oh man, and I love that second hand. Oh man, pretty stoked. Well, let me see what it looks like on. Take off, wrist check. Zen Easy MS 3, Easy MS, you know what it is. I'm just at the end of a long work day. That's my work watch. And my everyday wear. One second, I'm struggling with this. With a tag on it. There we go. I got it on. There we go. The Archie blows. So that's I thought it was I have a 7 1/4 inch wrist, but I'm over 7 1/2. I think I just went by memory and was excited when I ordered, honestly. But that's how she looks on a let's call it a 7 1/2 inch wrist. I need to add a link or two, but please let me know what you think of the watch, what you think of the sweeping hands and the quartz movement compared to other things that are on the market. I felt like this was combined with the heritage and the build, the construction quality. It's owned by Citizen Group, like I said, and I believe they're made in Hong Kong. Assembled, the movement's assembled in Japan. It's, managed by the Citizen Watch Group, but that, I'm happy with that. I definitely wouldn't want to forget this and go to work because I fuck it up, but yeah, if you're into minerals and especially lesser known ones, Snowflake Obsidian is, you don't see it around as much at rock shops, and this was, I thought, a really great idea to do for a limited edition because every single one will be different. And even on the website, scrolling through the pictures, a number of them, they show different dials. So anyway, thanks for poking along. Please let me know if you think it was a stupid thing to buy or if it was a nice addition to my other, like, German tank watches that are, true tool washers. This one's for a dinner party. Not that I ever would go to one, not that I've ever been to one of those. But anyway, thank you for hanging out. If you're still here, I don't know why you would be, but man, I would love it if I'll have to check before, but I just freeball it here. I would love to hear a real watch YouTube influencer make a story about the failed Omega watch. That is something I'm very interested in. The only watch to ever fail on the surface of the moon. Sounds like a good video. Anyway, enjoy. Thanks for hanging out, and cheers.